Hello and welcome to SUFCtv this evening. I hope you're all doing well. So, on this evening's show, I have a very special guest in Ken Island, a man who's had a very long association with Sutton United, to growing up to watching the club, to being the assistant manager, manager of the reserves, and assistant manager in a very successful period. Again, I've mentioned this a lot, but on these live shows, we've had a lot of guests from that fantastic 80s era. So if you are a fan of that, then the gift just keeps on giving this evening. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this evening's show. Get involved in the live chat as well with your questions and just general thoughts for Ken. So without further ado, I'll give Ken a call now. Hello.
Yes, I'm here.
Hi Ken. First of all, welcome to SUFC TV. With all my guests that I've had on this in this lockdown period, I always ask them, how have you coped during this pandemic?
Well, fortunately, I'm a bit of a golfer, Tom. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hello, Ken.
Yeah, good evening, Tom. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you fine, Ken. Yep, I can hear you absolutely fine.
Right. Yeah. Well, obviously, very difficult. No football. Fortunately, I'm retired, but it's not the same as retirement because obviously there are a hell of a lot of restrictions. But I seem to be behind you, Tom.
Oh yeah, Ken, it won't. So just for viewers that Ken's also checking out the stream. Yeah, it doesn't actually run. It runs about 30 seconds behind. So yeah, no worries about that. It's still all going fine.
Yeah. Okay. Got you, Tom.
Cool. So yeah, continue, Ken.
Yeah, I'm saying that fortunately I am a golfer anyway, and over the last couple of weeks the golf course has reopened, which obviously has allowed one to start playing. Unfortunately, at the moment I've got a bit of a problem with the shoulder, and due to have an MRI scan on Thursday, so a little bit restriction, but you know, keeps us and a few repairs around the garden, the garage, and the house.
Brilliant stuff. So let's get on to your career now. I'm actually going to go all the way back though to how did you get into football as a young kid, Ken?
Well, as a young kid, that obviously I go back many years ago with Sutton. Always had an interest in football because the whole of my family, I'm one of two brothers, three of us. My elder brother played for Sutton in the early days in the A side reserves. I got involved in the sort of mid-50s as a ball boy, programme seller, and eventually became a turnstile keeper. And then I felt that I wanted to play. Club, it just reacts on you as Sutton United did. And we had some wonderful players in those days. I can go back and name them, but I'm sure that you're aware, everybody's aware of the history of Sutton United, And just from junior football right the way through until I started, got a call one day. My brother was at Epsom and Ewell. Could I help out down at Eastbourne, 1966? Just got married, and that was the start of my sort of amateur semi-pro or non-league career.
Brilliant stuff. So at Epsom Newell, how did you find your time there? Obviously starting from 1966.
Well, from 66 it was very difficult because I'd only been playing junior football on a Saturday and a Sunday, and in those days it was very hard. You trained hard. 2 nights a week. Played on a Saturday, sometimes twice. And midweek games, well, you could be down at Herne Bay on a Tuesday night before the motorways were built, all that I think down the A2, and getting back 2-3 o'clock in the morning. So it was a bit of a struggle, and working as well. And at that time, doing further education, 1-day release, etc., as part of my apprenticeship as a training draftsman.
Were there any sort of standout memories from your time with Epsom Newell?
Well, yeah, when Dave Fillery came in, he was quite a good player from Tooting and Mitcham. He took over as manager. He then left, then Peter Norris came in, who was an FA staff coach. And that was really the introduction into my coaching career. And all of the players there were encouraged through Peter, who was a friend of Dario Grades, to take their premium coaching badges, which we did. And that certainly improved and made you think differently about the game.
Was there anything in particular, like an example you can give me, that something that he said or made you do that, thought, yeah, that makes me think differently about football?
Well, yeah, I think that once you understand to understand coaching, people say that practice makes perfect. No, practice can make permanent. And if you don't do the right things, you can be doing the wrong things and they become permanent. And what coaches did in those days is make you understand that there were certain simple ways of how to head a ball, get in line with it, and, etc. And the same with passing the ball. Lots of what they call today key factors. I won't bore you with it all. But yeah, I went on. A lot of us, it really improved our game. And it wasn't really until I went through a period of, playing at Corinthian Casuals, which I'm sure you can ask for one or two other clubs, and I came to Sutton. But during that period, I actually then took my coaching badge preliminary, which I got, and that enabled me then to work as a player, and obviously become a better manager later on.
And speaking of Corinthian Casuals, let's move on to them now. Obviously, they're your next club after Epsom Newell. How did that move come about? And what was your introduction like in your early stages at Corinthian Casuals?
Well, Corinthian Casuals, my younger brother, Bobby, had just moved to Corinthian Casuals, and I think Pat O'Connell, who did come back and eventually manage Epsom, he was there, and I think George, the right full-back for England in the World Cup, he was the coach. I can't remember his surname at the moment. And eventually Mickey Stewart took over, and then my brother said to me, why don't you come down there? Isthmian League football. I wanted to step up, and that's what I did, and that's where I met Mickey Stewart. And what a lovely guy, and what a lovely club and lovely people. And very, very much on the same grounds as Sutton United, who also had a very good one. I would say Sutton United were of the Corinthian spirit as well, and that obviously comes about later on. But I had a great time with them, playing in the first team, all over the place, playing against a lot of ex-Sutton players, strangely enough, and playing in the reserves, Martin Tyler, who's now Sky presenter.
Yeah.
I played with a lot of the cricketers, Graham Root, Alan Butcher, Doug Yinsole. Used to play in the school side. That was very good, going to private schools and playing against the universities. In fact, and then eventually I got a tug from Dave Wall at Leatherhead, would I go there, which I did. And they were at the time a very successful side. No chance to get in the first team. Close shop. Very, very good side. And obviously I moved on there, I think, as I said earlier, Molesey, and then finished my career at Hawley Town in the Surrey Senior League, where injuries prevailed and one had to think about, well, the time has come.
Let's just go back to Corinthian Casuals. Martin Tyler was there, obviously a very famous face on Sky Sports, now as the lead commentator. Did you get to know him a bit?
He used to play at the Imperial Sports Ground over at Molesey. And after I sort of lost my place in the first team at Casuals, I think after that first year, I played for the reserves, and Martin was working for the South London Press at that time. Long hair, real character, good centre forward. Obviously, a bit like Peter Crouch, big tall lad. I'd like to meet him again. I've not seen him since he's done quite well for himself, and quite interesting that he's got on in his career. But he was that sort of person. Very good friends of Bob Willis as well. Bob used to come along and watch us, like a lot of the Surrey cricket. Well, a lot of the Surrey cricketers played for Corinthian Casuals reserves as well.
Just looking at Leatherhead as well. Obviously, mentioning the reserves, there's no chance getting the first team. What made their first team so great and so hard to break into?
Well, I think at the time, it was the time of Billy Miller was there. Johnny Phipps, I think, played for Sutton in the earlier days. They had a lot of England international players, and they were a very, very good side, no doubt about it. I played with Chris Kelly when he was a 15-year-old at Epsom, and he went on as, Budgie, the Lip, lovely lad, and they had a lot of good players. Barry Webb, loads of them. You can go through them all. But it was, they were just doing so well, very well run club. At Headley Court, where we used to train, you can't get any better time than that, believe me. All those physiotherapists there, training there once a week, being chased around with baseball bats. We used to work hard, I'll tell you.
And is there any more specific stories you can get into with Molesley and Hawley Town?
Well, Molesey was just basically, I was sort of, in limbo. I think I'd finished at Leatherhead Reserves, had enough. We weren't going to go anywhere. A guy called John Berry, who used to be at Sutton, and I had played a couple of games. My elder brother again, I think had left Sutton at the time and gone to Molesey, and said, well, why don't you come over? And I went over, that was in the Spartan League, and went over there, and that was very good. Some good times there. And then eventually, obviously playing Sunday football, I got a tap from a guy called Tony Monk, who was quite a very, very good player, been around in the senior sort of semi-pro leagues at the time. And he said to me, well, I'm down at Hawley Town at the moment, why don't you come down and play? And that's what I did. But unfortunately, it was a lot of travelling, Tom. One day a week, and I had a knee problem, and it was a treatment bench, training once, and in the end, Tony got offered a job at Banstead as the manager and asked me if I would like to join him as assistant, and that's where I started my managerial career.
Before we get on to your managerial career, starting with Banstead, just one more question to wrap up your playing career. If you didn't have a persistent knee problem, do you think your playing career would have lasted for a bit more longer?
I would hope so, but at that time I was obviously still very, very much interested. I joined the Surrey Football Coaches Association, which was when you got your preliminary coaching badge. There was a guy called Doug Ford who worked for the Surrey FA, but was always sniffing around at all the FA courses. And Surrey Football Coaching Association and the London Football Coaching Association had some wonderful times in putting on sessions for their members, bringing coaching back out to the public. We used to put on lots and lots of courses. I was involved in for many, many years, and eventually did become chairman of the association. And we used to get involved with the referees, put sessions on, and try to bring the referees and the coaches together, because there was always a little bit. If you talk to a referee and they say, "Oh, well, managers, you know what they are, coaches," and I think you had to work together and both understand. We need to understand the laws of the game, and they need to understand football, and that's what we try to do.
Is there any specific examples you can give me in terms of what coaches and referees did to, as you said, to understand each other and understand each other's roles better in the game?
Yeah, well, I think the first thing is that you talk to them afterwards. You see, you used to use this word in the old days. He used to say, "He's a cheat. He's cheating," but no, he's not. I think it's an understanding. There are so many. People say, "Oh, rules of football." It's not rules; it's laws. And there's, I think, was it 17 of them? I think it's about 51 because there's the referee's interpretation, there's the actual laws, and then there's our interpretation of them. And I think that if you understand, and both between the referees and the coaches and the managers, etc., you can bring the game more together. Not like today when you watch the Premier League and say the respect has just gone. They just, and I find that disappointing, Tom. But the getting together. We used to put a lot of sessions on with the referees. They would say to our association, "Well, what about this? What about that?" We put it into a session and see how they saw it to how we saw it, and then discuss it afterwards amicably.
And just speaking of the Premier League in this modern day and age, do you think VAR has helped the relationship between coaches and referees, or is it distanced it even more?
Well, I think a lot of people would expect me to say, "Oh, go back to Bill Shankly's days," and if you're interfering if you're out of the field, it's as simple as that. I don't think 7, 8-year-old, 9-year-old children, kids playing football, girls and boys, understand the current offside law. It is a very, very difficult law. You're interfering if you're out there. I'll put you on a session anytime you like, with or without a ball, still prove that you will gain an advantage being in an offside position. But they've tried to alter the laws to make the game better. Personally, I don't think they have, Tom. But that's just my opinion. As I said earlier, football's a game of opinions.
Yeah, certainly. I would lean on more on your side, though. I certainly do agree with what you're saying. Yeah, I'd say that they're very similar to my own views as well. Anyway, let's get on to your managerial career. So it's back. So obviously you mentioned Banstead, where you started. So can you talk to me about your time with them?
Yeah, well, Banstead, I started off there. I went up with Tony Monk, who took over the first team. I looked after reserves at the time, and obviously it was quite different. It took a lot of getting used to because you are now a manager. I would use in actual fact, later on throughout my career, I found that you actually became a father figure because people would come to you for advice, different things. But after about 3 or 4 months, Tony decided he didn't want to carry on, and I then got invited to move up and take up the first team, which obviously then was very, very difficult. Different players of all different shapes, sizes, and different jobs, and you just had to get to know them, get their confidence. They had to get yours. It worked out reasonably well. I had a very good secretary in Gordon Taylor. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Obviously, tried to put a lot of coaching things in there. Some players like coaching, Tom, some don't. That's the difference at Sutton United, where that's why people came to the club. But I had, I think, just over 2 years, 3 years there, and the players, in actual fact, wanted to bring in a guy who shall be nameless, so I won't mention him because it wouldn't be fair, but they brought somebody else in and I unfortunately was asked to leave, which I did. But that was the start really of my career at Sutton, which I couldn't really. I should be saying thank you to the players at Manchester that did it for me, because I went and just did a bit of pre-season training with Whiteley Football Club, where Tony Monk had gone back. Mickey Unwin was the manager. He was a very good friend of Johnny Wall, who was then the general manager at Sutton United. And that was the invite I got to go to Sutton United. That's where that started from.
So before we get on to what obviously the viewers are going to want to hear about your wonderful time with Sutton United, just one last question on sort of your time at Banstead. Do you think that is actually one of the hardest things for a brand new manager into the game who's come from just sort of being a coach and being matey with the players, the fact that they've got to step up now and be a real boss with as you said, many different big personalities?
Yeah, well, fortunately, it's one of those things where I came in as being a player. A lot of the players I knew, I played against. But then, as I said, you have to earn the respect. But yes, it is the first job, like anything, when you leave school, is a very difficult job.
Yeah.
But you have to work at it, listen, learn, especially from your mistakes. I made a few, don't worry about that. I upset a few players. Had to, go back and apologise that, I was wrong. But then also, I brought a few new ideas. I remember once we were playing in the FA Cup, and I said to the secretary, Gordon Taylor, look, Gordon, can we just meet in the morning, FA Cup? We met in Yamato in Chalk Lane in Epsom. And we just had scrambled egg on toast at breakfast and a cup of coffee. They'd never, ever done that before. And what a difference from the players seemed to change over, they thought, we've never done this. We're getting something that we've never had before. And that was a learning curve for them and also a learning curve for me. But later on, it was a normal thing, But that was just an introduction. And I think the players enjoyed it. They told me they did, but you never know behind the scenes. They might say, well, But there you go. It was a good experience. I, loved every minute of it. Hard work. Yeah.
Brilliant stuff. So let's move on to your time with Sutton United now. So obviously you mentioned sort of how it came about. So what role did you start with Sutton United then?
Well, what happened, I'll say I was just keeping myself fit, training with Whiteley at the time. As I said, Tony Monk had gone back there as a player, and Mickey Unwin happened to be very friendly with Johnny Wall. I think Dario had just left and gone to Derby with Colin Murphy. And Alan Pentecost, who was then the reserve team manager, had taken over. Trying to think, this was probably about the November time.
Yeah.
And I went down, John got me down, I met Alan, Rick there, and would I take over the suburban side, the reserve team, which I did. And he, as reserve team manager, stepped up to the first team. And at the end of that season, obviously, then the club were looking for a manager, and that was the start really of Keith Blunt's reign. And Peter Malloy, the chairman, obviously had been talking to Keith. He just finished at Plymouth. I think he'd been working with Alan Brown. Is he ex-Blackpool, I think, at the time? I'm having to drag my memory here, Tom, I'll tell you.
I mean, Alan Brown, I think so. I'll give that a double check, actually.
I think it was Alan Brown, but anyway, they finished at Plymouth, I think, and Keith had moved back up this way, got a job at Sutton Grammar School. He had previously been a teacher at Dulwich College, and he became the new manager at Sutton, and of course Alan Pentecost went, and Keith asked me to stay on, which obviously I was privileged to do it. And when I first met him, I knew him as a player, never knew him as a person, but what a wonderful guy he was. I would say honest, very polite, had very strong morals, and a lot of people found it very difficult to get on with him, but he was an FA staff coach at the time as well, and that was the start of the thing, of my time there. I managed the suburban side, he did the first team, and then he suggested that we start a youth team. And would I get involved with that? Well, of course, yes, great. We had some trials, had a very big, loads of people that came down wanted to play, because Sutton had an excellent name, Tom, as you're probably aware. And we formed the youth team. We played the Southern Youth League, but unfortunately it was midweek. There was a few local games, but there's also a lot of games down on the south coast.
Yeah.
And, you know, players' parents, you know, it was cars. We didn't have coaches, you know, it was all new. I relied on parents and myself, and then when you get back sort of 12 o'clock at night, you can't just leave the kids at the ground. You then become a taxi service, making sure everybody gets home all right. And then I said to Keith after a while, because I was then self-employed, as I said to Keith, look, Keith, we need, because we had big week games with the Suburban League as well, so it was Saturday, Tuesday, Wednesday, training Thursday, football Saturday. It was getting a lot. Didn't see my wife, didn't see my family. As you can probably guess, she's probably saying, yeah, great. No, I don't think that. But we decided then that we needed to get a youth team manager in, and that is what we did. I can't remember, somebody will have to correct me on this, who the first youth team manager was. I know Johnny Bickell did it, Lee Wallace did it, Keith Walden later on, and Barry Peacock. I think it was either Johnny Bickell or Lee Wallace did it. And then also Keith suggested we went on a youth tour to Groningen in Northern Holland, which was absolutely wonderful for the kids. And first year we went out there, it was a bit of a learning curve. We found it, got invited back again by the tournament. And then eventually we won it. They wanted us to go back every year. And that was really the beginning of where we got a few of our players from, which I'm sure you'll ask me later on about.
Yeah, so I was actually going to say about going to a different country and playing there. Do you think that's massively vital for like going on tournaments like that? You know, do you think that's massively vital for young kids, even to this day?
Yeah, I think because at that time, you see, the continental football, as you probably, if you look back at some of the older games, if you raised your foot above sort of foot off the ground, all the continental referees would blow for a free kick. Today, they're going at hip height, and that's quite, you know, rewarding. People accept that, don't they? But it's not right, you know. And out in Holland, it was quite new, because when we played a lot of the pro clubs. We were the only English club out there. There were Danish, German, Dutch, French. Wonderful tournament, very well organised. Lovely people, the Dutch. I mean, so they love their football, and their football is very much like us. And out there, the particular club, Groningen, they used to run probably 20, 30 sides from the ages of 4 upwards. And they were run by some of the ladies out there. And it was quite interesting. And when we weren't playing, I would go and have a look, because as a coach, as a manager, this is where you got your information from. You learn from other coaches. You think, I like that idea, I can use that, and I can develop it. And that's what you used to do, you know.
Was there any in particular examples you can give for yourself? Like, was there a coach that you thought, I really like that idea, I'm going to develop it when I do my coaching?
Well, I think yes. I think that obviously Keith and Barry. I mean, so I worked with Mike Kelly and a a lot of it, because with the Surrey football coaches, we used to have a lot of guest coaches used to come along and used to use different venues all around sort of Surrey. And at the time, I'm going to say within Surrey, we had probably the most coaches, full badge coaches and prelim badges in England, in Surrey. There were so many, I'd say, you think that there was Ted Powell and Gary O'Grady, Keith Blunt, all these people, Mike Kelly, and, you know, wonderful people. Obviously, Bobby Robson, who was our president of our association, used to put a lot of sessions on. And again, you learn a lot from these people. And, you know, not only that, Tom, it was also an education. And they were nice people, not big-headed. And if you needed help, ask them and they would help you. And it was, well, I don't know whether it happens today, but in our day, that's what happened, you know.
I said about Bobby Robson there. What was he like?
Bobby Robson, strange guy. He was president of our Surrey Football Coaches Association, and he was very sentimental man. I've seen him cry when he's been talking about things, because that's how he was, that's how he felt. And I felt very sorry for him, you know, when we didn't do well. I think we went out on the penalties, because I think the man deserves so much more. I think he's one of the finest coaches around at the time, Bobby Robson. And I still see his, you know, his wife and his sons. They come to we have a get-together with the Surrey football coaches at Fulham, usually once a year. And they usually come down. And it's nice to see them. And obviously you've now got the Bobby Robson charity, you know, the foundation.
Yeah.
Which we also do a lot of work for through the association. But yeah, wonderful man. Had an excellent coach. Wasn't worried too much about the media, but I think the media put him under a lot of pressure, and I think that's why he packed up in the end.
Yeah, well, obviously I owe Bobby Robson a lot, actually, personally, because he was my childhood Newcastle manager, and we were playing the Champions League then, so I worshipped the bloke, and you know, his film, the film that came out, I think, a couple of years ago with him as well, was fantastic. So it's great to hear your stories there, Ken, about Bobby Robson, because he was, one of the biggest legends around. That's for certain. But anyway, more on about your time at Sutton United. Obviously, you on about the youth tour that you had. So can you continue sort of what happened after that youth tour?
Yeah, well, after the youth tour, obviously, we had then got a new youth team manager in, who took over, and we developed that. And then within the club, the philosophy by the manager, Keith Blunt, was to develop players. And this is exactly what we used to do, is we would bring players in. And Keith, the fact that he used to also run the Surrey, the English grammar school side as a English FA coach, regional coach, and obviously he knew an awful lot of players from grammar schools, from Glyn, from Sutton Manor, Dulwich, and whatever other club, and they wanted to come to Sutton because Keith was there, you know, because he also had a very, very good pedigree, and with the youth team players as well, and of course lots of fans, supporters would recommend players, and we never turned anybody away, Tom. We would get them in, do a couple of training sessions with them. We used to have trials at the beginning of the year and through the year, and pick players up, put them in if they weren't good enough, we used to move them on because the reserve team. I always remember Peter Malloy saying to me, the chairman, Ken, you're not here to win games, you're here to produce players for the first team. And when I look back at the future of the reserve team, which I did for under 10 years, more than that, and what we won, the players we've spoken to quite a few of them, the Phil Dawsons, Mickey Joyce's, the Mickey Stevens, Mickey Cornwall didn't come through, he came from Horsham, but they all came through the reserve team and went into the Tony Raines, another one, used to be an AP at Fulham, all came through. And basically what we had, people to say to me in a reserve team game, I went away, whoever we were playing, could be Egan, could be Carl Shulton. How many first team players you got with us today, Ken? And I said, all of them. Because all of them were good enough to go in. I see there's a few quotes coming in from George.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, actually, with you watching the stream at the same time as me, actually, usually my guests, they won't be watching it at the same time after asking live chat questions, but you see them right in front of you. So, what are your answers to both questions, both the Mickeys are put to you?
Yeah, we got the first one at the top, which is Richard Collier, Ricky Collier, Muncher, as we called him. Good lad, goalkeeper, was there. Came in, Crawley man, Sussex man, good, wonderful character. But I'm digressing now. But anyway, after I think it was a couple of years, Keith Blunt, unfortunately, he brought Barry in as his assistant, which was good at the time. And then all of a sudden, Keith and I, we used to go out and watch quite a lot of games, Tom. One of the popular grounds was going to Southall on a Monday night, and it was like Manager's Paradise.
Yeah.
And they were all chasing Alan Devonshire. That's who they were after. Who was playing, and I think the ex-Palace chairman, the money man at all the golf clubs, can't remember his name at the moment, he'll come to me in a minute. He was a manager there, building company, and he... obviously, eventually, I think he obviously went off to West Ham, But everybody was like, who's who on a Monday night. Didn't matter what the weather was like, we were all there, looking at players, and then Keith would say to me, this good player at Horsham, go down there, have a look at him. And I came back with Mickey Cornwall. Then another one down at Faulkner, off I went. And this is how we used to get the players. Just going to have a look at them and see what they were like and bring them in. And in the meantime, because of the club itself had such a great reputation, Tom, people wanted to come and play, and they wanted to be coached and they wanted to be appreciated, and they liked what the club offered. And that's what I think Sutton is all about.
Yeah.
And it's still there. And then, unfortunately, we were going to a game one night, Keith and I, and he said, I need to tell you, Ken, he said that I've been offered a job with Malmö in Sweden. And as you know, they've just played Nottingham Forest, I think, in the European Cup. And Bob Houghton was the manager, who was another very good friend of Keith's, and his father Doug, who I know very well, and still alive, about 90 years of age, lovely guy. And Bobby got Keith out there, but in between times, Bob was moving off to Paranithikos, being approached by them.
Okay.
So Keith then took over at Malmö, and of course then Peter Malloy offered Barry the job, and that's when Barry Williams took the reins at Sutton. Eventually brought in a guy called John Davis, who didn't last for very long. I think it was too much work for him because there was a lot of work going on. But what we did do at the time is we had some good people in there. Mickey Joyce has just got me. Ron knows. He's just given me the name of that guy, the Crystal Palace chairman. Thanks, Mick. And I've gone off what I was talking about now. Remind me, Tom.
So you're just talking about the coach, John Davis, I think. His name. I think it was Barry.
John
who Barry Williams brought him.
I think he had problems with. He was a teacher also. Like all of them, most of them were teachers. Dario, Keith, Barry, John Davis, and he had to go back, and then Larry, I think, stepped up a little bit as an assistant general manager at the time. We carried on. I got more involved. I used to go to, most of the first team games, and right up to '89, as you know, we had some wonderful cup runs each year, and of course, most years we were always in the first round proper because we got exempted in those days because of winning the league or winning certain cups and that. You got qualification points, and obviously you missed a lot of rounds. We played in the FA Trophy. As you know, we've been to Wembley 3 times.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we've not won. But I'll tell you what, Tom, I would never miss the time at Wembley. Wonderful experience. The players thoroughly enjoyed it. And, you can't change it. I'd go there. If I go there and lose again, I would go because it is. And if you talk to any of the players, they will say to you, love it right the way down. And we had good cup runs for quite a few years. And of course, the icing on the cake was the Coventry game.
Yeah.
Which was absolutely great. Something that I could never, I think, experience again, because it was quite strange, is that Larry and I and our wives used to go away on holiday. We went to Cyprus that year. And we were in Pathos, so we were walking down the harbour, and walking the waters was the Welsh international that got the goal against us. And I won't tell you what he said. I had a few superlatives. But we had a chat about the game, and of course we won 2-1. He got the goal. Again, Joyce Hill-Cross, one of them will correct me on his name in a minute. But yeah, it was just nice to see the guy. He had his baby in his arms. But I'll tell you what, Tom, for a pro club that just won the cup, I think the year before that.
Yeah, they did.
John Gorman, I think Peter Sillett, came at the end of the game. And I'd gone in the dressing room with John Raines, our captain, and the big tall centre half from Coventry, the Animal. Because you have to have a chat with the referee. But afterwards, when we'd won the game, they knocked on the door. Didn't walk in, knocked on the door. And of course, I was staying at the door because don't stop people getting in. And I opened the door. I said, Barry, manager and assistant would like to come in. Yeah, in the come. And it just went dead quiet, Tom. And they gave us so much praise, Tom. It was unbelievable. It was very, very sentimental, and the choices here coming up. Welsh bloke Tom Jones. It's Kilcline, yeah. Kilcline was well done, Nick. You got the question wrong in the Saturday night quiz, by the way, just so that you know. But yeah, what a wonderful experience, and I think the players as well. But it was just deadly hush in that dressing room. And then that year, it just all seemed to go. Larry was obviously with us as well at that time, and all of us went 89. And I think Keith Blunt came back then. He came back. He'd finished at Melma, back at the school job. I went, didn't get involved, and then I got a phone call from the chairman at Red Hill, and that was the start of my Red Hill managership.
So before we move on to your time with Red Hill, that era at Sutton, do you think that's so underappreciated? Well, not underappreciated, but obviously Paul Doswell had a superb era. Certainly won't take anything away from that. But do you think the fact that we won the Isthmian League twice, we had constant FA Cup runs back to back, getting to at least a third round, and we're always high up in the table. What I noticed about that era is we're always so high up in the table as well. Do you think? Obviously, I wouldn't say underappreciated, but a little bit underrated compared to Dozzer. Do you think it was the club's, basically what I'm trying to say, do you think it was the club's best ever era?
Well, I think without blowing our own trumpet, I think a lot of credit has got to go to the board, to the directors, and yes, to the coaching staff and the players, but also the supporters, because certainly in those days it was a club. Everybody used to get together. An example, the Anglo-Italian, when you get supporters that travel for 18 hours, Tom, all the way to Chieti, David Fairbrother, our director, being one of them, Mark Frake, as you know,
yeah,
and quite a few others. And then we played extra time and had to get virtually back on the train afterwards. And I think Nicky Stevens passed a comment the other week is that when we had the cup, Reg Walker, one of our directors, who was also a publican, he didn't know what was in the cup. Well, I can tell you what was in there. It was a litre of scotch, because that's what Reg put in there, because that's what he had with him. And the outlay leaving there is we went back to the hotel, and Reg got behind the bar, and that was it. We had one hell of a night because we just won the Anglo-Italian Cup. But yeah, that was, those supporters at the time missed all of that. They had a drink, and they had to get straight back on that train and go all the way back to the UK. Now, they're supporters for you. Not many people do that, and there was quite a big party of us out there. 5-hour journey from Rome, right the way across the coast to Chieti. Long time, Tom.
Yeah, certainly.
But thoroughly enjoyed it. But all the other cups, the London Senior Cups that we won, all the charity cups, the league cups, had all different names at that time. But I think the biggest thing, the most underestimated cup at the moment, is to be the best club in the county. And we won the Surrey Senior Cup so many times. I think we owned it.
Yeah.
But now they poo-poo it. I don't know why. It used to be, a very, very good cup. You had some good sides in it. So you had Wimbledon playing, Crystal Palace, Woking, Kingstonian, Carshalton, Sutton. And they were real battles, real derbies. And, you played the final usually at Met Place, which is obviously one of the best non-league grounds in the county. And we won that so many times. But, I think it was a very, very different era. And I think today, football's different. And so I looked at the Premier website. It's a business, Tom. It's not football. They don't develop players for the clubs or for the country. We're fortunate we've got a very good division underneath coming up, which I think is underestimated. I love the football in that Championship League. But the Premier League, so I put a note down here, and I think I mentioned to you some time ago that I watched the games during this lockdown. I watched the 1966 World Cup.
Oh, I did too.
Yeah, the other week. I watched the England-Scotland game, 1996, and the 2008 Holland against France. Now, can anybody tell me that they've seen a better game in the Premier League than any one of those three? Because I haven't.
I mean, to come at you there, I've got to say that Holland France game in particular, because I actually watched that one live at the. Obviously, I wasn't alive during the '66 game and the '96 game, but I remember actually watching Holland France at the time, and I was thinking, again, the level of football was ridiculous. Like that was, even though France got beat, the talent they had on the pitch, and obviously Holland's attack was the attack Holland had was sensational.
Yeah, so that was, with the, looking back at that and the football today. But, in answer to your question, basically, I think we had I personally, but again, it's an opinion, maybe the supporters will correct me. I see there's things coming up now, different things here, from people making comments, but I've been expecting one question, but I'll leave that at the moment. I don't know whether you've spotted it, but I'll leave you to see if you can pick it out. There had to be a Joyceism, but I can tell you a few stories about some of these players as well, if you really wanted to know anything. It won't get them in the
This is why you're on here, Ken, to reveal the stories. It would be a pleasure for you to tell me those stories.
Well, the little things like, I remember that Mickey Joyce, when I started at Sutton United, Mickey Stevens was already there. He was a young 15-year-old, which Dario brought in. I think he played for Mitchell Royals. Mick will correct me if I'm wrong. Then John the Tank came from Wimbledon. Terrible names at the moment. He brought Mickey Joyce down to the club and said, you've been playing for Woodmanston. I'd like to give this guy a trial, and Mick was quite a good athlete at the time, but we used to call him Chicken George. He was like a clock in the wall. And I brought one player from Dancing with me, a guy called Martin Clark, who's now out in the States coaching. I think he's tied up with Cova coaching. Joyce will correct me if I'm wrong there. And the three of them, I call the Three Musketeers. And whenever we go away for a game, to give an example, one day, the three of them, Joyce, because he was an estate agent, letting agent, he was working Saturday morning, so he couldn't always meet, he wanted to go direct. So he went with Abel Stevens, Mickey Stevens, and Clarkie. And we were playing at Feltham. So we get to Feltham, and we got three players missing. And then all of a sudden, one of the people from Feltham comes, there's a phone call for you, Ken. And it's Joycey. They're at Egham. And I said, what are you doing there? We're playing Feltham. He said, well, it ends in the same two letters.
Oh, no.
And that's what they were like. And I would say, Mick was a lovely guy, a lovely family, went to his wedding, everything, and loved the family. Still a joker, 60 years of age. He's listening to this, and he will be paid back, Tom, believe me, because he's done an awful lot of players up at the club. His favourite trick was a little, deep heat on the underpants, changing the keys over for the cars. Lots and lots of things. And Alison, his wife, I did get into trouble at his wedding because I nicked his luggage, and his father and his sister really went for me. But I said, well, it's just payback time. But
yeah.
I had to give in the end. And Abel, Abel, lovely. Him and his wife, when they were out in Italy, we met them out there. And then, unfortunately, Jackie had the accident after the Norwich game, which, and I really feel for him, the family. No, his mother and father, mother's passed, but his father's still around after. Lovely guy, lovely family. And Clarkie, working in the States, but yet still a nice guy, all of them. But I can say that about all of the players, and I think they're all proud to put a Sutton shirt on, Tom.
Yeah, actually, I was actually going to mention the word proud to you in a question. Like, how proud are you reflecting back, like bringing these sorts of players through into the first team, and because they proved to be vital players during that successful era.
Oh yeah. Well, all of those players knew what it was all about. I mean, so when Phil Dawson and Paul Rogers, Curly Rogers, Paul Rogers at the time had already been approached by Wimbledon, by Harry, what's his name? Went to Sheffield United. Correct me, I'm losing names here again. And he didn't go to Wimbledon because obviously he had a good job. He was in Sutton's first team. But of course, when it was a chance to play Premier League, and Paul went. But Paul was originally at Chipstead with Phil Dawson, and they helped me out on one of the tours to Holland. Came out on the ferry and what have you. That's when I had a chat with them. and then spoke to the club, to Gypsy when I got back, and they came and joined us at Harry Bassett. Thanks, Ricky. They're picking me up on my names. And Phil Dawson and Curly Rogers, we called him Curly because his hair was as straight as a die. Never had a curl in it, and they nicknamed him Curly. Very good players, all of them. And Tony Raines, who was an AP with Fulham at the time, his brother was there, and Jack, his father, brought him down. They all eventually got in, but all of the players, Joycey now, we've got Harry Worth, look at it. This is what you get if you look at the comments.
Yeah, no, I'm watching it myself.
And you can see what I had to put up with, but at the time there, what people don't realise also, Tom, is that it wasn't just football. A lot of these players would have, a few personal problems. You became a sort of second father to them.
Yeah.
They would come and talk to you. We had the club at the time, right throughout, from Keith Buntrain, we decided to wear collar and tie, no earrings, etc., etc. And the parents, when I talked to some of the guys' parents, couldn't understand, well, my son don't wear an earring when he's down. He puts it to tie on. He never wears a tie. I said, well, he wants to play for Sutton, and that's what they do.
Yeah. And
there was never a problem. Yeah, Johnny Shears was the one that brought Mickey down, by the way. If you remember him, the ex-Wimbledon player, the Tank. John Sillalong, I still see him at some of the games. Really, really, really good,
Brilliant stuff. So actually, I'm just flicking through the live chat. So I'm going to go to the first question from Mickey Joy. So, who was the quickest and slowest and the best trainer and worst trainer you have coached apart from me?
Well, that's a different. I didn't see that one actually. I'll just go back down again, Tom. I didn't see that. Where's he put that?
So it's actually up. So if you go all the way, it's one of the earlier questions. So it's just below James King's.
Who was the quickest and slowest and best trainer? Well, obviously the best trainer there was obviously Larry Pritchard, and the quickest was Mickey Cornwall, because Mickey Cornwall at the time was second to Steve Ovett in Sussex County. I don't know whether you knew that. And okay. Mick, came from Horsham, got him from Horsham. Mick says coach, I mean, so he was hard to coach, Mick. But again, a good lad. I mentioned to you sometime about Cobra coaching, and Mick and Martin Clark were very much into this with a guy called Wilf, who was chairman at Walton Hersham. And this was all technique stuff for kids all the way up to probably about the age of 14, 15, 16. And it was very, very good. All with the ball. You didn't do anything without the ball. All technique, all skills. Very, very good. But in answer to the question, quickest, best trainer was obviously Larry. Larry never liked to lose.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. That was his attitude. Never complained. Got on with it. Go on, Pritchard, you're last again. You won't be last next time. No. But quickest, well, we used to do, I remember pre-season training over at Richmond Park and, or Boxing Day round Epsom Downs, and, Mickey Cornwall would be first one in the cafe having his hot soup and a lump of bread, But that's what we did in those days, and you never had any problem getting the players there. If we asked them to train 4 times a week, Tom, they would train 4 times.
Yeah. No, great attitude from the squad. And actually, speaking of Larry Pritchard, I can't remember what show it was, and I can't remember who said it, but when we played Leeds in 1970, obviously, as you'll know, I think it was Dom Revie went up to Larry Pritchard after the game and possibly said, I want you to come to Leeds. I can't remember what player it was as well. Revie wanted him to replace at Leeds. It must be one of the older players. But it's actually when he mentioned Larry Pritchard, that comment came to my head. I can't remember who said it on what show.
John Faulkner went to Leeds also. John I knew very well. He was actually doing a lot of work for Luton.
Yeah.
Just given the history there. And unfortunately, John, I think, broke his leg after the first game, which was unfortunate, and didn't really get his pro career. But with Larry had Larry had a very good job working for British Telecom. He had so many pro clubs wanted him. He was he's, I think, the most capped England international player. I won't blow his trumpet because he doesn't like that. He never blows his own trumpet. Pritch, he's not like that. Very good player, very good trainer, nice person, lovely family. Spent a lot of holidays away with all of them. We're all getting older now. We don't see so much as one another. And then your earlier comments, you don't see any of these people at the moment because of this lockdown.
Yeah.
These are all the people that you miss that we could catch up on, and it doesn't happen. I'm looking through all these comments now that are coming in, and I don't know whether I mentioned it, but Joyce and I now run the Former Players Association at Sutton United, and Peter Malloy was very good at looking after people who used to do lots of things for the club at that particular time. When we went to Norwich, he would take, Rosie the tea lady, all the stewards, all this, put on a coat, pay for a meal, ticket for the game. That was his respect for what all these people did. And Mick and I now started to do this. We look at people down at the club now, and we do various things to raise up a little bit of cash. And we also run a golfing society. And one of the things we do is every year we have a memorial trophy game. Rob Brooks, who's an old Sutton United and Dulwich player, and we've resurrected a game of golf. We just had our fourth competition last year that stands at 2-2 for the Rob Brooks Memorial Cup.
Okay.
This year I've arranged in October, end of September, the new one. But because of the lockdown, I'm not sure what's going to happen. But, these are good things. And we've had a couple of days, but also Sutton United do a charity day for the community side. And that's another thing that I find very interesting, Tom, that a young guy called Steve King, who I remember as a supporter, a right character, real Jack the Lad, long blonde white hair, a bit like mine, but obviously longer. And I think he came out of Italy, and he was a big supporter. Wherever he went, he was there. And he's now running the community side. And what an excellent job he's doing.
Definitely.
And he's got my appreciation. And we've had him and his son in for lunch, Nick and I. And this is what we do now. Just we've got a few people in the club that do things, and people don't know what they do, but they do a lot of work. The volunteers of the world. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
that's the great thing about non-league, in my opinion. You get people who just want to. It is just for the love of the game and for the love of the club, and that's the thing I think that makes non-league so unique, and that's why I absolutely love the non-league. So.
I can go to most non-league clubs. I think certainly in Surrey, Sussex, Kent, and there's somebody there that and I always want to have a chat. How are you? They're all nice people. Even though at the time, Carl Short, we used to have some derbies, but what lovely people they were at the time. And you can go down there for 90 minutes. You're enemies, but after that, a couple of beers, have a chat. And we're all friends again.
Brilliant stuff. Actually, there's comments. I'm getting bombarded with comments about your left foot. Mickey Stevens said apparently it was one of the best at the club at the time. Would you care to explain more about that, Ken?
Well, they recognise that, early on in the early days. And say the only other, Bobby Green had a good left foot. He was a lot more skillful than Bob. But I had quite a good left foot, and I was known throughout probably the clubs what a good left foot I had. Took a lot of penalties in my life with my left foot through, and never missed one, Tom. Probably about 20 or 30 penalties. big thing I can remember is scoring 2 goals, one with your left foot, one with your right foot, playing for Epsom Mule against Harrow Borough. Straight in the goal, straight in the net. But I would say the comments coming up, I would say they're trying to find out what my golf's like. But all I can say is, until Mickey Stevens, my golf is better than his.
I was going to come on to that. Yeah. So it's So you and Mickey Stevens had a game of golf tomorrow. Do you expect to still win?
So again,
so if you and Mickey Stevens have a game, so you and Mickey Stevens have a game of golf tomorrow, so you would still expect to win and win comfortably.
So I could play with one hand. Mick's a lovely lad. So another little story I will tell you about Mickey Stevens. Mick got quite a bad injury at one time, and Joyce knows about this and one or two others, and. He was one of these, everything had to be right for Mick, it had to be perfect. And he wasn't sure whether his injury was right. He used to take him out, work with him, and he'd say, oh no, I'm not sure, I think I can still see it. So, Danny Keenan at the time, he did some ultrasound. The club doctor, who was an ex-orthopaedic surgeon, name's got again, it'll come to me, and they worked with him, but it wasn't getting any better. And then one day, Danny came and said to me, I've got this magic tablet, and he got Mick on it, and after about 2 weeks, Mick came out, and I said to Mick one day, how are you doing it? Yeah, wonderful. And he'll deny this. But all it was, Tom, was a salt tablet, and it was purely psychological, and that's what Danny Keenan was very good at, the doctor.
Yeah.
And they'd just given him a salt tablet, and Mick felt it had got better. There was nothing, he was fit, there was no doubt about it. And of course, within a week then, he was playing, and of course, what he did learn to do is kick with his left foot, because he never used it, he only used to stand on it. And that's why he keeps saying he had the best left foot in the club. It weren't Mick, it was bloody. That's all the question marks are for.
Yeah.
But he learned to kick with his left foot after that,
Also, a question from Mickey Joyce, which was said earlier on. So what notes did you put about players in your little black notebook, such as able lose weight, Joyce is still playing cricket, etc.?
Oh, yeah. What I used to have a little book, and I used to keep a profile of each player, who played, when they went on, who scored the goals, this, that, and all the other. And I had all 3, 4, 5 of these books, and I think one day the players, after a function or something, often the players would come around to my house, and my wife used to do shepherd's pie and beans. And you got about 14, 15 players around here, and of course I've got these books, and of course they're looking at them. And I'm giving them marks out of 10. And of course, pre-season, around the August when we started in September, Joyce was a very good cricketer. Mick would put on a lot of weight, and I used to make little comments on the side, give them little things out of 10. And of course, Mick, I just used to put still playing cricket, because he just didn't seem to be interested, so I would like to take him off, put a substitute on. And then once the cricket had finished, then he came back and he started playing football. Because when he got in the first team, he had to pack the cricket. He still played cricket, but then the pre-season was more important. So that's what that was all about.
Brilliant stuff. So I'm trying to look for any more questions. I don't think there's any...
I'll just finish off the actual managerial side. When I left, obviously I said, I went down to, I had a call from the chairman at Redhill, and was I interested in going down? And what I did is I quickly rang Mick Joyce, because I knew Mick he was struggling to do a few things, and said to him, did he fancy coming down and being my assistant and coach? And he jumped at it. Because I wouldn't have taken the job without him, because it was going to be a hard enough job as it was.
Yeah.
I think Larry had gone off to manage Bolton, took a lot of the players with him. over there, a lot of ex-players from Sutton. And Mick and I spent about 3 years at Redhill. Very difficult time, Tom, another learning curve, because when you come from a club like Sutton, and of course the players at Redhill, different types of players, didn't know what to expect. Oh, suddenly Ken Island coming from Sutton, it's going to do this, going to do that. But Mick and I just went down there and we just waited, did a coaching session the first night. Didn't have many players, didn't even know them. Had to select a side. Managed to get Ricky Kidd to go with me, which is where he started his career. And I got Ricky Kidd to join me because I knew if Rick had come there, a lot of other players would come and join Redhill, which did actually happen. And I took 2 or 3 players from Sutton, John Vincent, goalkeeper, Stuart Andrews, a right fullback, who was an AP at Wimbledon. Took a lot of them down there to bolster. And quite a few players came in. I had 3 players on suspension. The game I went to watch, I had 3 players sent off, but that's another thing. But it was a hard job, and they had a problem with the pitch at the time. But Mick and I persevered. We worked hard. We had a good chairman, John Park. At the time, he then sort of resigned, and it was really Mick and I ended up running the club, to be honest with you. And it just got to the point where couldn't really do much more. We got relegated the year Mick and I went. We were already virtually in relegation, paid in Div 2. Did well, I got a couple of managers a month, which was quite surprising, which I'm quite pleased with. Used to annoy the chairman because I wouldn't go out and take them. I said, no, the players, because it's the players that have earned it, not me. But that's how I felt.
Yeah.
We were a club, not just a manager. We were a club. Mick was part of it, and other people, and we had a good backroom staff. 2 people who actually came to Sutton United with me, Roger Moss and John Cole, who's passed, Massus, all came and joined us at Sutton. And Mick and I did the Capital League side and the suburban side with Alan Dane, and Larry Pritch was his coach at the time. And then I think I had about 3 more years back then, 95, and I finished because my work commitments were now moving me abroad, overseas to work.
Yeah.
Most of my work I sort of kept. I was a water treatment engineer. I kept in this country, but I was also doing coaching courses for the FA and for the Surrey County, because I got my full badge coach. Barry had encouraged, which I must mention, I think Mick Stevens mentioned it. We had a club where I think at one time we had 7 full badge coaches and probably 15 to 20 premium badges, because Barry encouraged all the players to go away and do it. And I think if you talk to any of them, I'm sure Abels, Mickey Stevens, Mickey Joyce would agree that it improved their game. They made them think differently about their approach to the game, their techniques and different things like this. And they became better players for it. As you know, Mick became Abel became an England international. I don't know whether Joyce he did. Probably didn't at the time because he was playing cricket and working. But no, it's only a joke, Mick, if you're listening. But yeah, they were some good times. So I finished then, and then got invited back in a later stage. Barry Appling called me. I used to go down to Sutton now and again when I was back in the country, because I wasn't always away. And Barry Appling talked me into becoming a patron down there, which I did do. I wanted to get back involved again. Again, didn't go to many away games because of work commitments, but went to quite a few. But became a patron, and then after a while, work, I had to pack that in. And I just sort of stayed around and went and watched a few games, and then work really took over till I probably got back involved again a few years back in, 2000 and something, when the work finished, when I retired, I think, basically, and just the vice president down there now. And do what I can to help the club. Got a lot of feeling to the club, James. Tom.
That's all right. That's all right.
Yeah, lot of feeling. But and some good friends there, and they're still good friends, all of them. Wonderful people, wonderful families, and they've now got obviously the new board they've got in there with Bruce running it. Bruce came in just towards my end. I think took over from Dave Hearn. And I was like, David Fairbrother, who I knew very well, he actually did his prelim with me back in the, I think, 78, 79. David will correct me on this if he's listening, but he took his prelim badge, and that's what they did. And we always used to play the supporters in a cricket match, players beat supporters. That was always an annual thing. But the board now, all of them have come up through the club. They've all earned their spurs. And, they're doing a very difficult job at the moment, especially with this COVID problem. But it's a difficult job anyway because the players are different. You've got agents, it's all money, and it's very, very difficult. But, you've got a good man at the top there, Bruce. He will lead them in the right way, and he's got lots of good people around him. And there's other people just at the side there that if he needs any help, he's only going to ask and he will get it. And he knows that.
Actually, to touch on, obviously going back to your time at Banstead, you were a young manager coming in. Matt Gray's had a similar situation coming in, his first managerial job. Out of what you watch, if you watched up in the season, out of the games you watch, and what do you make of Matt Gray's time at Sutton so far? So I think he's done a really good job.
I think Matt now, obviously when he came in originally with Doz, there were lots of things going on at the time. It must have been very, very difficult for Matt. But since he's taken over, obviously the first year he took over completely when Doz obviously left, obviously very disappointing to people, really in the way he went because it wasn't expected. Matt took over, and I think Matt's done a very, very good job. Difficult the first year because he's got to get to know the players, got to get their confidence. They've got to get his respect. But at the end of the day, he would have laid his law down. He's got his assistant with him, Mick's there as well, Stevens. They seem to have quite a lot of people now involved. We didn't have the goalkeeping coach. We didn't have the defensive coach, the midfield coach, the front coach. We had Epsom coaches used to drive us around, and the rest we did all the coaching ourselves.
Yeah.
But I think from Matt's point of view, I think that this year he's done well, and it's just unfortunately he's been stopped in his tracks to pick a club up that didn't start off too well, and then all of a sudden, boom, 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 picked it up. And I think he'll do well. Because he's his own man, he knows what he wants, and I think he'll do well. He's now on his own. He's had his apprenticeship. I think he was at Crawley and Woking, was he, as assistant manager?
Certainly Crawley. Aldershot was one of the clubs. I think I'm actually maybe missing one off the top of my head. I think it was another one that I've missed. But definitely Crawley and Aldershot stand out to me as the clubs he's been at doing his apprenticeship. So
it might have been a player at Woking. I'm not sure, but I've got a lot of time for Matt. I like him. I like what he's about, and he will be successful. I think that he knows what he wants. I think he's got the right players. There's going to be a bit of coming and going. As you know, there's a bit of movement at the moment with players, but this will always happen. Players are very, very different today, Tom, to what they were in our days. It wasn't money. I'm saying Sutton weren't great payers in the early days. Not like, the Maidstones and the Wickhams and the Enfields and the Hendons, And, people would leave, but then they'd come back because they liked what Sutton was about. It wasn't just about the money. That was a bonus, But just come back and play for the club, represent the club. And I think now that Matt has got that with a lot of players that they want to represent themselves, and we say they don't play to the manager, they play for themselves. Then they play for the team. When people said, "Oh, I'll play for you, Ken," I said, "No, you don't play for me. You play for yourself." I think it's very, very important, you know.
So just a couple more. Oh, sorry. Yeah, what were you going to say, Ken?
No, I've got a Ryan RDR. I just don't know who he is.
Anyway, there was just a couple more questions left. One personally from myself and one from Mickey Joyce. So personally for myself, actually managed Redhill. What was the ground like back in the day? Because actually, Redhill was the first non-league ground I ever went to. That's where I was born. I was born in Redhill, so that was the first non-league ground I ever went to. What was Kilnborough like in those days? Because I think they played at the Memorial Ground and then moved to Kilnborough, I think in the 80s. So.
Well, I myself played quite a few games at the Memorial Ground, and unfortunately, is that a company called Benny Black and Beach, and I knew them, they were in the construction game, moved into offices opposite the park at Redhill, opposite the Memorial Stadium. And what they did is that, and I could be corrected by somebody here, but I understand, is that they said to the council, "Look, we'll build your one-way system in your Arndale Centre, but I want that monstrosity moved in front of the building," because they wanted to look at the park. And that is why the Memorial Stadium was moved to Kilnbrow.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the contractors that did that ground, it was just a load of spoil, clay, muck, mess. You've never seen anything like it, Tom.
Yeah.
So we never seemed to play much football from November through to February because the ground was waterlogged. And I had a commercial manager there one day who actually got a helicopter in from Redhill Airport, and the bloke went up and down 2-3 times just to push the water off the pitch so we could play. But I had offers from a few people to take over, but the limited company at the time, the 3 people who were in charge of the ground, and of course they didn't want to know because Ron, what's his name again now? Somebody did correct me just now. I'll get it, hang on a minute, bear with me. Ron Notes, yeah. Ron Notes, who was then chairman at Palace, Steve Kember, who's a very good friend of mine, spoke to me, and they wanted to open the school with excellence. Well, because I had a full licensed coach, I could run it on their behalf. Steve would do it because Steve was in the middle of doing his coaching badge. He had his prelim. And what they were going to do was develop that half of down the end, as you come down Kilnbrow before the bridge. There's a bit of waste ground there. And they were going to put in AstroTurf pitches and everything and develop the club. But of course, unfortunately, the limited company wouldn't have it, and it was a battle all the time against the limited company.
Yeah.
One of them, a member of the limited company, did do a lot of work down there for the club. Trevor Carville at the time. Awful lot of work got in, cleared a lot of stuff, spent a lot of money, a lot of his own time on it. And we were grateful to him, really were. I think he's tied up with Sutton at the moment. I think he does a lot of kids' size, good luck to Trevor. But eventually, I think the ground's better, but I was down there, strange enough, about 7 or 8 weeks ago before the COVID, and there are 1 or 2 patches there that are still naughty. But yeah, again, good experience. And the players, they respected Mick and I. We turned up with collar and tie. They decided they wanted collar and tie. They decided they would find players for dirty boots and being late. Fine. We didn't do it. They did it. And that was their choice. And still got a lot of good friends down there. And we still meet. Golf now, Tom. That's the thing now. We're all too old to play football, but we play golf.
Brilliant. So actually Richard Collier said, it was awful. The club got stitched up when they moved from the Memorial Ground. And actually I always thought, it took me a while to actually know about Readall actually used to play there. So I always used to think that the Memorial Ground is a great location for a football club, and I actually found out obviously that Readall did play there. Yeah, because it's right in the town centre, and yeah, it's a shame Readall got moved from there. I played a lot of football at Memorial Park when I was growing up, just playing at the park with my friends. So I played on that patch of land a lot. So anyway, Mickey Joyce says, how many players did you pass up to the Sutton first team when at Sutton, not including Muncher, Collier?
How many players did I pass into the first team?
Pass up to the... And I'll say this question again. Mickey Joyce said, oh, it's gone now. Give me a sec. How many players did you pass up to the Sutton first team when at Sutton, not including Muncher, Collier?
Muncher Collier, that's Ricky Collier. Yeah, well, all of them were good enough because they would have been playing in the reserves. What I will say, one last thing, Tom, just coming back to Redhill, Mickey Stevens did come and help us out for a little while down there. I've just seen he's passed the comment, and Chris Fagg, another goalkeeper, Sutton person, and also the scorer of the Coventry goal, the bricklayer. Give me his name. Tony Lane's got one goal. Who got the other goal against Coventry?
On the spot.
Come on, somebody, give me his name.
I'm always slips my mind.
Anyway, he had gone to Wickham. He had gone. How many is the questions, Ken? I'll get his name in a minute. Matthew Hanlon.
Matt Hanlon, yeah. I just got it at the same time. Snap, yeah.
Matt Hanlon. He's gone to Wickham, and I knew his parents very well because at the reserve team, all the parents used to come to the games. All of them. Youth team games was full of parents. I used to have a lot of meals and whatever along with something. And I got a call one night from Matt's father to say that Matt was injured and he wasn't getting a game. Could I help out? So I said, yeah, of course I can. So I said, yeah, we're getting down. And I had to go and talk with Martin O'Neill, then the Wickham manager. And did he make me wait? And then he turned around and he said to me, yeah, that's okay, Cal. So I knew him, know the family very well. With the help to get him fit. And I said, as soon as he's fit, then he can come back and, do what you want to do. He said, well, you'll pay his wages, won't you? And I said, pardon? I said, I thought you might pay me. And that time, what Matt was earning was about twice as much as what I got for the whole team at Tom. So you can imagine, my feeling. I said to Martin, I said, well, I thought you might just help us out, even with a friendly, But, that was the situation there. So, yeah, there's a lot of people from there that came and helped us out down at Sutton. And, of course, Joyce, he had a few people who got in. And then I think that was about, the end of it after we finished at Sutton, going back to Sutton again. 95, that was about it. And now Mick's a director, as you know.
Yeah.
We still do that. I still just get involved behind the scenes. I just keep away too much. And but yeah, there's still a lot of the same people that do a lot down at the club. A lot of people that never get the recognition. They do from the people that know what they do, but people just don't realise what goes on in running a club of that stature,
Yeah.
And if you didn't get your voluntary help, it would never happen. Still a good club, will always be a good club. And I wish Matt Gray, all the success for the rest of the season when we get going. And hopefully that, we'll, keep up there. And things get sorted out, this COVID thing, and everybody keeps safe, Tom, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. One last question to finish this show on from James King. He hasn't had any of his questions read out yet. Muddy pitches or perfect pitches?
Well, when he's talking about 3G pitches, I mean, say this is a question I think to ask the players at Sutton. They used to seem to have a very good away record playing on muddy pitches. They do on playing on perfect pitches, and so our 3G pitch, I think, is a billiard table. If a bad pass stays a bad pass, and a good pass stays a good pass. In the old days, a bad pass could hit a lump of mud and become a good pass, and vice versa. Very hard mud pitches, but at the end of the day, that's what football's all about, Tom, isn't it? Rain, wind, sun, shine, snow, mud, water. We play on it. That's what the game's all about. And what a wonderful game.
Brilliant stuff. And James King also said, you have to come and join in the commentary when the football restarts. Definitely, it'd be great to have you on, Ken, sometime. So
yeah, I'd love to.
On the Match LI commentary. Right, that is it, folks, for tonight's show. Ken, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. I've really enjoyed talking to you, and really enjoyed listening to your stories. And it's been great interacting with the ex-players on the live chat as well. So yeah, thoroughly enjoyed myself tonight, and I hope you have as well, Ken, and hope that all the other viewers have as well.
Certainly have in the comments, and I hope the lads will pass all the comments. Mickey Verti, Mickey Stevens, he never knew Italian, did he? If I said to you, Mickey Stevens speaks a lot of Il Stronzo, you can work out what that one is. Somebody will tell you.
Yeah.
Italians will know.
Yeah, certainly. They'll be experts on that. So yeah, Ken.
Okay, Tom, well, keep safe.
You too, Ken. You too.
James and everybody else. And hope to see you when the season restarts.
Most certainly, Ken. It'd be great to see you down at Gangrene Lane again. Well, have a good rest of the evening, Ken. And thanks for being our guest tonight.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed. Nice to speak with you.
Cool. Nice speaking to you too. Take care, Ken.
Cheers.
Well, that's it, guys. Really hope you enjoyed tonight's show. I'm not sure when our next show is going to be. Hopefully it'll be soon. Or follow our socials and follow Something United's official Twitter as well. That's when you'll find out what's next. Obviously, yeah, go and have a look back on the channel at the old the recaps that James Board's been putting out. He's done a fantastic job on them, so they certainly deserve some views. Yeah, thanks in particularly Mickey Stevens and Mickey Joyce. Yeah, take care. You guys take care as well. And yeah, hope to see you guys down at Sutton soon. So yeah, thanks for tuning in tonight, guys. Really hope you enjoy the show, Ken Island. Have a good rest evening, and we'll see you next time.